Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Guys, in today's video I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to release a tutorial on how to make a Rainbow Six Siege montage. Someone in my comments recently was asking on how to make these montages, well, simple montages anyway, and these simple thumbnails. So guys, without further ado, I'm gonna get into how I make my thumbnails, how I edit my montages, and what I use to edit these things. And guys, enjoy the video. I hope you guys learned something. Comment down below if you want me to make more of these type of videos. And yeah guys, enjoy. Guys, starting off with the thumbnail, we have an app called Photopea. Guys, Photopea is a free app and a web-based photo and graphics editor. It can be used for editing thumbnails, editing simple posters, any sort of images. And I think it's one of the most simple for editing, I guess, a montage thumbnail. Now, once loaded up into Photopea, you'll get all these options here, and we're just going to click on new project. And because we're making a YouTube thumbnail, we click on YouTube thumbnail and create. Now, once you get onto this screen here, I like to click view and just fit the area just so it zooms it in and like fully fits the area, makes it easier to see. And guys, from this point forward, we're going to hop right into Siege, and I'm going to show you guys how to take these photos for the montage thumbnails. So yeah, let's get right into Siege. Alright guys, once you're in Rainbow Six Siege, you're going to want to hit play custom game, and you're going to want to create a local custom game. Basically, you want to create local because local is the only way you can actually join a custom with that, like while you're playing by yourself. So you want to... Now guys, I already have a custom setup. What you want to do is set up, well, any map you want your thumbnail to be from. And you want to set up the custom so that each round is like very long, so you have more than enough time to take the photos. Now guys, depending on what gun you want in your thumbnail, the gun that's appearing on the screen is the operator you want to choose. So usually I like running R4C.
Hostage location is unknown. Operation.
So guys, once you load in, you want to hit escape, go to options, and you want to go to your HUD settings. Now once you go to your HUD settings, you want to turn this all the way to cinematic. Basically what this will do is turn off all your HUD settings other than the match header, which we'll turn off now, just so the screenshots look a lot cleaner. So again guys, you want to hit options, HUD settings, put on cinematic, and now you want to scroll down until you see match header. Now once you find match header, you're going to make sure you want to turn that off, hit apply. Now guys, we want to go to general, and over here, some of you might not have this on, but I like having it on. You're going to want to turn off advanced metrics. Now once that's off, you'll notice that there's absolutely nothing on my screen other than my gun. This just makes the game look cleaner. Now guys, once you find the area in which you want your background photo to be, you want to hold FN, or for some keyboards you can just click F12 on its own. So what I like to do is hold FN, and as I switch my gun, click F12. What this does is it takes a screenshot on Steam so that you can access it later. Now there are probably better ways to take screenshots, but I think this is just the easiest. So I usually like taking two just in case. So as I'm switching, click F12 so that all the background is empty and my gun isn't showing. Now guys, once you've taken your background photo, what you want to do is come to a floor which looks as empty as possible, and you want to look all the way down so that other than your gun, nothing appears on your screen. Now, depending on which way you want your gun to lean is the way you want to take this photo. So I'm going to make it lean this way because it shows more of the gun. Now, once you lean like this, hold FN and click F12. Basically, this is the weapon which we will be using in the thumbnail. And the reason we look down is just, well, you guys will see. Now guys, once you've done those two steps on Rainbow Six Siege, you can head out of the game and hop right back into Photopea. Now guys, once you've taken those photos, you want to go into Steam, and up on the top left, you'll see this view option. Now, once you click that view option, you'll notice how it says recordings and screenshots. You want to click that, and you'll have all the screenshots you've taken from today. Now, what you want to do is click share and save these images onto your computer or your laptop. So you want to save both. This looks pretty good. Now, once you've saved both, you want to come back onto Photopea, and simply from your file manager or file explorer, you want to drag those images into Photopea. So guys, on the right here, we have the layers for the images. I usually like to just delete the background because it isn't really necessary for us. Now, what you want to do is you want to ensure that you click on the image with the gun. So this one, this is what we're looking at right here. And you want to come to the option select. Now, once you find select, you see where it says remove BG. That basically means it removes the background and leaves only the gun. Now, you guys will notice that the gun is now trimmed and placed into the background photo. Now, this is exactly what we want. Now, guys, if you want to make your weapon look larger, because this does look pretty small here and pretty dark as well, what you can do is hit edit, free transform, and you guys can just increase the size, so like so. Now, guys, what you want to do is click on the layer with the background photo, and you guys want to hit filter, blur, and radial blur. Radial blur basically makes it look more clean and adds a little blur to adds a little twist to the sides. Now, what we want to do is hit zoom and change this number to 5. Now, guys, from here we also want to hit filter again, blur again, and we also want to add this Gaussian blur. I don't know how to pronounce it, but once we hit that, I like putting this really low just so it gives like a tiny bit more of a blur, but not too high, enough that you can still see the background. Now, guys, that's going to be all for the background. I normally like to play around with the temperature and the tint and stuff like this, but these are a tiny bit more advanced. Just for a simple thumbnail, this is fine. Now, another step that we want to do before we finish off the thumbnail is right click onto the weapon and hit blending options. Now, once we hit blending options, you'll notice all these blending options on the left here. Now, the ones we want to use is outer glow, inner glow, and inner shadow. Now, I'm not a big fan of inner shadow, so I don't usually use it, but I usually just like outer glow and inner glow. Now, the outer glow is just this line around the gun, whereas the inner glow is like more of the inside of the gun. Now, the more important one, in my opinion, is outer glow. So what we want to do is change this to any color, which, well, you guys want, I guess. Now, one thing that's really important is we need to ensure that the inner glow and outer glow colors are very similar or the exact same. Because if we don't, it gives this weird effect. So guys, once they are both the same, we also need to ensure that this gun, the bottom lines and the side lines aren't showing. So we can just hold and drag the gun so that we can only see these lines. Now, guys, what we want to do is go to outer glow, and on the technique, we want to increase the size so that we show a bit more glow. I usually like to turn the opacity all the way up to just so it shows a bit more. And guys, another thing you can do for the background is hit this image option here, go to adjustments, hue saturation, and just put the saturation slightly up just so that the game looks a lot more like clean and cinematic. I really like the touch this adds to the thumbnails. And guys, if you want to add a simple champion logo to your thumbnails, you can just search up R6 champion logo, find the one that's from Ubisoft so that the background's already removed, and then you can just simply grab and drag it onto Photopea, just like so. Now, if you do add a champion logo, I'd advise that you also go into the champion logo, add blending options, and just add the inner and outer glow as well. And yeah, you can add any color of a glow. I usually like red or like pinkish. Don't add too much of a glow where it takes all the attention, but yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the thumbnail section. Let's get right into actually editing and clipping the montage. Guys, this is just a simple thumbnail. I know there's probably like a lot better ways to make these thumbnails. This is just how I think is the easiest way to create a simple thumbnail. Guys, moving on to the actual montages themselves, I like to use an app called CapCut. Now, CapCut is an app which diversifies a lot of the options and is very good for simple editing, trimming, and moving clips around and just like playing around with your overall montage. Now, in terms of VFX and light effects, it's definitely the most simple and basic, and I wouldn't recommend it for anyone who wants to take editing to another level. I think it's just very easy and simple to use. I know there are other apps like Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve. These apps are definitely stronger in terms of these effects that are used in montages, but I like CapCut, and I think personally it is the easiest to use, and it's still pretty solid. Now guys, once you're in CapCut, you want to hit create project. Now guys, as soon as you guys learn into CapCut, I want you guys to build a habit of hitting this modify button here and changing the frame rate from 30 to 60. This will ensure that your clips look way cleaner and aren't stuck on the shitty 30 frames that will look like absolute ass. Now guys, once you're in this option here, you want to hit import videos, and wherever your clips are placed, mine will usually be in a Rainbow Six Siege folder like one of these two. Let's just grab any clip here, grab the first one here, and then you just open. Now once they're imported onto CapCut, you can just add it to track, and down here is your timeline. A timeline is basically where you can browse through the entire clip, trimming the parts you want, and yeah, it's basically that simple. Now I'm only going to use a few clips, or maybe one clip as an example, just as a starter. Now the first thing I like doing is just making sure I trim down the clips so that I want the exact part in my montage. So for example, for this clip, you see the split option over here. You can also click Ctrl B. You want to click that. Now because I only want this part of the clip here, I can delete the whole other half. So once I delete that, I'm left with the only remaining 15 seconds of the clip. See, after I get those 2 kills, I don't want the rest of the clip. So what I can do is select the clip, and from the end, drag it all the way back up until the point, which is this line that I want the clip to end. Now, once I have my full clip trimmed, now guys, once we have the full clip trimmed, what I always like to do is hit on it, scroll down, and hit motion blur. Now guys, one thing I will say is Photopea is free, CapCut is free as well, but CapCut does not provide as many options if you don't have the premium. So guys, I do have the premium, and I will say it is definitely worth investing in if you want to edit these simple montages. And stuff like motion blur won't be a thing if you don't have the pro version. So guys, make sure, well, my advice is just get the pro version. Now guys, what we want to do is hit motion blur and set these to 40/40. Now you guys can set it to what you like to. Motion blur basically gives an effect where it makes the movement a bit more eerie, but it makes it look a lot cleaner. Now guys, once this processes and your motion blur is actually in the clip, you can now play the clip, and you'll notice a slight difference in the way it looks. It looks a lot cleaner. And guys, honestly, a simple touch of motion blur can make a montage look extremely cleaner. I didn't know about this when I first started editing these simple montages, but yeah guys, make sure to add this motion blur because it will make a very big difference into your game. Now guys, you notice in the top here, we have a lot of different adjustment settings, caption settings, transition settings, and effect settings. Now with montages, I personally only touch the text, effects, and transitions, and filters, sorry. And everything else you wouldn't really need as much. Now, if we start with filters, you will notice how there's an extreme number of filters. There's a lot. Now, for montages, I think the best type of filters are the ones that make the game look clean, and all black and white filters for simple edits. Now guys, the way I like my montages, I always add Sunkist because I think it just makes the game look extremely clean. Now you'll notice that it does actually make the game look a bit more yellow, which I don't really like as much. So what I normally do is just put the intensity down to about 60 so that it still makes the game look clean enough, and it adds this like glowy effect. Now guys, this is just a simple filter. You guys can add whichever filter you like, but I do recommend getting the pro option because it has a lot better filters. Now guys, another very important thing with thumbnails is the effects. Now personally, I feel like the more effects I use, the more I actually dislike my thumbnails. So I usually just use this flash effect here, and what I normally like doing is placing it in places where the beat drops or a certain kill, maybe a very flashy kill. Now the thing about these flash effects is they're quite strong, as you can see, so I don't really like that personally. So what I normally do is click on the flash effect and change the details. What I normally do is place the glow down to about, I'd say 15, and the strength also down to 15, which in turn gives you this effect. Guys, not as strong, but still strong enough. what I also normally like doing is making it so the duration is quite low, so that it only flashes for the kill and then stops straight after. And now guys, for the text option. Now if you're editing a thumbnail, you can only really use text for a couple things. One being the intro, two being the outro, and three being the text following the actual song. Now the text in CapCut is really simple. Just add a default text, and over here you have all the options including font, pattern, case, color, and you have different preset styles as well. Now a good thing for montages is you need to find the exact font in which you like. Let's say for example this one, I can type my name, make it a bit larger. So guys, let's say I was using this as my intro. Now what you want to do is make it so that, notice how it just appears on the screen from nothing to something. It just pops up. Now that is pretty ugly, and we're going to want to change that. So what you want to do is go to animation, go to loop, and hit shine. Now I like the shine effect because I think it just looks pretty clean with my name. Now another thing we want to do, this is just for the intro guys, we want to hit effects and we want to find the blur key. Now once we find blur, we're going to want to make sure it's layered below the text, so that the text still shows without a blur. And now this is the effect it will give. And guys, this is just the simple way of editing an intro. Guys, there's probably a lot more intricate ways. This is like not as clean. It's still decent enough to make it look clean. But guys, I'm gonna add another clip just to show an example of how it all works. So let's just get this clip for example. We add that clip as well. Now the same procedure, you want to use this dragging tool here, drag to the part where you want to clip. So with this clip, I want the clip to start around here, the 2:50 mark. So what you want to do is hit split, and you want to delete all of this beforehand. Now once you've deleted all of that, you can use this line to drag it again to where you want to view your clip.
On a dead. Wait.
Now guys, you want to just trim the rest of the clip which you don't want, and you guys can feel free to do that. One thing I will say is, another thing you could use in montages is the transitions options. Now with transitions with montages, I like them to be very quick and snappy and not as slow. So maybe options such as like something like zoom shake, where it's very quick and snappy and can make a montage look very clean. So guys, if we add that, you will notice how each transition has a different duration. You guys can set this to however long you want. If you make the duration very long, the transition will be extremely slow. However, if you cut it to really short, it will be extremely fast. And that guys is how I basically from clip to clip edit my montages. Now make sure you guys add the song you like to your montage. And yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that it helped. I'll see you all next time.